Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about slope of a line. Okay, so the slope m, I don't know why it's called m, it just is. The slope m of a line is the ratio of the change in y, which is the rise, to the change in x, which is the run. Okay, so remember a ratio is just a fraction. Between any 2 points, x1, y1, x2, y2 on the line. So here's what you do. I've got this line here, this red line. I pick two random points on the line. Here's x1, y1, and here's x2, y2. And then what I do, this is called a slope triangle right here. I make a right triangle between those 2 points. That makes this point right here x2, y1. Now let's see why that is. Well, it's got the x coordinate of this one right here, so that's x2. Got the y coordinate of this one right here, so that's y1. Okay, now why do I want these? Well, the green right here is the rise. It's how much it rises from here to here. It's that distance. That's y2 minus y1. Okay, so I would take the y coordinate here, I would subtract the y coordinate here. Now this, the blue, is called the run. And that's calculated by the difference in the x coordinates. So that's x2 minus x1. And we know that the slope is always equal to the rise over the run. Okay? So, here we go. So the slope m is equal to the rise over the run, which is the change in the y over the change in x, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's our formula that you need to know. You need to know this formula right here. The slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, you can do y1 minus y2 if you like, but if you do, you got to switch it around and make it x1 minus x2 as well. Okay, so that's a slope triangle. That's how you calculate the slope of any line. Okay, now if I have a line that looks like this, where it's going uphill to the right, that is a positive slope. All right, so if I'm back here and I'm calculating a slope, and I calculate my slope, and it's negative for this line, I know it can't be right because this line is going uphill to the right. That's a positive slope every time. Okay, here is a negative slope. It's going downhill to the right. This green line here has a slope of 0. Okay, it's not steep at all. It's just completely flat. And this is the tricky one right here. The vertical line has no slope. A lot of times it's called undefined. The slope is undefined. Okay, now make sure you understand there is a difference between 0 slope and no slope. This one has a slope and the slope is 0. This one does not have a slope at all. Okay, there's a difference between those two things. Okay, so here we're going to describe the slope of the line and then find the slope. So this, if I was going to describe this, here's what I would do, is I would find, I have 2 points here. I would find a point on the line and I would kind of do this, and then I would do this. I would make a slope triangle. I'd say, okay, what do I do with the slope triangle? This goes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it has a rise of 5. And it's got a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6. Okay, so it rises 5 and runs 6 to the right. Okay, now if I wanted to calculate the slope, find the slope, I would take the difference in the y's. Remember, the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to take this y coordinate, 4 minus negative 1 all over 3 minus negative 3. Now remember, when I've got two negatives together like this, those cancel out and I get plus on both of these. So this ends up being 4 plus 1 is 5, and 3 plus 3 is 6. And so I get the slope is 5/6. Piece of cake. Now this one over here, this one I can look at the line, it's going downhill to the right. I know the answer is going to be negative, so if I calculate the slope and I get a positive number, I know I've done it wrong. Okay, so let's look here. We got the slope is going to be y2, negative 2, minus y1, which is 1, over x2, 1 minus negative 1. Okay, and then these two right here cancel out, become plus. And so slope is negative 3 over 2. So let's check it out. This thing went, if I describe this, it goes down 3 to the right 2. So negative 3 and 2, just like that. So that makes sense. Okay, here's what I want you to do with this. I've got two problems here. Oh, I got three problems here for you to do. I want you to find the slope of each one of these lines. Okay? So take a minute, pause the video, calculate the slope, then jump back on here and check your answers. Okay, so my slope here, remember we always write the formula down. Let's write it down up here. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You should always write down the formula. Okay, so here I've got 2 minus 3 over 3 minus negative 2. And then those cancel out. And I get negative 1 over 5. So the slope is negative 1/5. Okay, let's check it against the picture. So from here I go down 1, that's a good sign. Negative 1's the slope. Here's the rise. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So perfect, I did it exactly correct. Okay, let's look at this one here. Okay, so this one, the slope is going to be 1 minus negative 1 over 2 minus negative 4. And again, both these are going to cancel just like this. And then I'm going to get 1 plus 1 is 2. And 2 plus 4 is 6, and that reduces to 1/3. So the slope is 1/3. Okay, now if I check this, okay, it rises 2 and runs 2, 4, 6. Okay, and if I make a fraction of that, 2/6 reduces to 1/3. Okay, a couple stray dots to clean up here. And let's look at this one. So, here we go. So on this one, the slope is going to be 1 minus negative 4 over negative 3 minus negative 5. Okay, be careful of all your negatives here. So these two cancel out. I'm going to get 5. These two cancel out. I'm going to get negative 3 plus 5 is 2. So my slope is 5/2. It should rise 5 and run 2. So let's check it out. I rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I run 2. Perfect. Okay, so hopefully you got all three of those right. Very important. That's why I had you do a lot of these. You should be able to do this at will. Okay, find the slope of a horizontal line. So I can do this just the same way. Remember my slope formula? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now you might just remember, hey, the slope of a horizontal line is 0, but we're going to show it right here. So this would be 5 minus 5 over 6 minus negative 1, which is going to be 0 over 7, which is 0. So the slope is 0. Piece of cake. Okay, what about a vertical line? All right, let's take a look at this one. So this one, the slope, remember, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Notice I write the formula down every time. Slope is the difference in the y's, so it doesn't really matter which order you do it in. 6 minus negative 4 over 4 minus 4. So these cancel and I get 10 over 0. Okay, what happened here? I'm dividing by 0, and you can't do that. So we write this, and we just say the slope is undefined. You can also say there's no slope. Okay, find the slope of the line through the two given points. So go ahead and pause the video here, practice finding the slope, jump back on here, and see how you did. Okay, this one here, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, my slope is going to be 4 minus 4. That should be a tip off right there. Okay, over 3 minus negative 2, which those are going to become plus. This is going to be 0 over 5, which is 0. So the slope is 0. That's a horizontal line. Okay, over here, the slope is going to be the difference in the y's, negative 5 minus negative 3, over the difference in the x's, negative 3 minus negative 3. Uh-oh, I can foresee a problem here. So those are going to become plus, those are going to become plus. This is going to be negative 2 divided by 0. That, my friends, you can't do. So this has no slope. Or undefined. You could say this, you could say undefined slope. So hopefully you got that for both of them. Okay, so you're going to do, in class next time, we're going to do 1 through 29 odd, and we're going to do number 33. And I will see you guys later.